Do less, I got next. Playing off the ball, and you know the J wet. She text back, so I'm saying there's a chance. Girl, I'm sorry in advance. And you know we got the passion. He talk a lot of shit, at least I gotta laughing, right?
Alrighty, welcome back. We're on the secret segment, episode 14, and I'm excited for this. We've got a big social media sports influencer, Scher. You guys know him as the founder of Hoops Nation. So we're going to do a quick 10-segment secret segment, or 10-question secret segment. So, Buster, what's your favorite color?
Favorite color is blue.
Every single one of my guests that has done the secret segment has said blue. This is insane.
Yeah. And I'm appropriately themed to answer that question right now.
I noticed, and I saw your shirt, and I wondered if you were going to say blue. So thanks for that hint. Okay, yep. Question number 2. If you had to choose only one candy to eat forever, what would it be?
Smarties has been my go-to for about 10 years. So I'd have to stick with that. But I've had a Snickers phase, and I've had I mean, does like sugar gum qualify as candy? Because if it does, yeah, then like gumballs I would add into that mix as well. But Smarties has to be my long-term go-to.
Definitely. I feel like Smarties are such an underrated candy, but if somebody places them in front of you, nobody's going to deny them. You know what I mean?
It's just sugar. I mean,
yeah, it's flavored sugar. It dissolves in your mouth.
Right.
Okay, so this is a good question for you. I know you've been on a lot. So, best vacation you've ever been on, even if it has had to do with work.
Yeah, I prefer work quote unquote vacations as opposed to normal vacations. So my favorite trips are usually when I'm doing as much as possible. So I just love going to LA, and I don't like spending a lot of time in LA. I like spending a little bit of time in LA. So I like going there for a week, getting stuff done and getting out.
Yeah, definitely. So name one food that you absolutely will not eat under any circumstance.
There's some seafood that I don't really do oysters.
Okay, me too. I don't like oysters either.
I've had friends that have made me try it, but it never worked. Part of it though is that I go into it thinking I'm not gonna like it, which only helps me not like it even more. And that's a fault that I've tried to correct. But yeah, oysters are not the one.
You know, some things just don't click, and that's okay.
Right.
So this is usually a hard one for everybody, but what was the first live sporting event that you attended?
First live sporting event? Oh, it must have been a Knicks game at the Garden. It must have been in like 2008 or 9 with friends, before I was even really a big fan. Well, first that I can remember, that's what I would say, but there are photos of me being at baseball games when I was like 2, but I don't know if it counts.
I know, same here. If you had to choose one actor or actress to play you in a film about you, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, who doesn't want to be played by Leo? Like a young Leo, not like current Leo. Like Titanic Leo.
I was just gonna say Titanic era Leo.
Yeah, that would who wouldn't want that? That's
of course, the legend, and of course, you know, we all know.
Although Adam Sandler would be pretty good too. I love Adam Sandler. Yeah.
And you know, I feel like some people might argue that Adam Sandler was going through like a washed-up phase there for a while, but I feel like he's like making a comeback now, like Dave Chappelle, like a serious like comeback.
Yeah, Uncut Gems was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm referring to. So, good answer. I like your answers to that one. Yeah. This is usually a good one for everybody. Some people get philosophical with it. Some people like to jab. What is one thing you've learned in the past week?
One thing I've learned in the past week. That's a good question. I think the best thing that I could say is how important YouTube thumbnails are. I've been doing a lot of research into like YouTube thumbnails and YouTube analytics, so I'd say YouTube thumbnails. Yeah, super important.
About
Literally,
why they're important.
it's literally more important than the actual video.
Well, any insight you can give to the budding social media gems, then the more appreciated. So I'm sure people might appreciate hearing that. So thanks for that. Pick one to be for a day, hero or villain.
I always want to be a hero, but it's all just a matter of what scene you're in, like, or what setting you're in. Like Michael Jordan was a villain when he wasn't in Chicago, but he's the
True.
hero in retrospect. So it all just depends on the setting. But you always do want to be a hero. And
I
nobody,
agree.
maybe somebody wants to be a villain, but it's not me.
I've had some people say villain. You'd be surprised.
Hey, teach his own.
I think some people just like the devil's advocate aspect, like being the villain of seeing like what they can entice people to do. So I think that's fair.
Fair.
So number 9, favorite day of the week.
Usually, I mean Friday or Saturday because most people, well, it depends. I like working when other people aren't working.
Yeah.
Um, but
Cut out break, working on the weekend like usual.
but I also like working with people, and the easiest
Right.
times to do that are like Tuesday, Wednesday when people are in the flow, and
Definitely.
so I do like Friday and Saturday.
Okay, we'll go with that. Number 10, last one, and again, opportunity for you to maybe give advice if you'd like. Worst career advice you've ever received.
Oh, I think, it goes back early to where like when I started doing Hoops Nation, like people that I looked up to told me that it was too saturated and that I couldn't do it. So it's like, you just can't, like even people you look up to, you can't listen to them.
Yeah, well, and of course, when somebody is trying to come up, the more content you make, the more likely you are to be seen. So being too saturated is almost, it's an argument against itself because how are you supposed to get seen if you're not saturating the feed? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, they were referring to like the whole market being too saturated for like somebody new to come into it, which is never
Right,
true. That is
right.
never the case ever because
Yep,
if you're better than the person who's doing it, you will be seen more. It's not
exactly.
like you say the NBA is too saturated, but then
No,
Zion comes in and he's better. Like
exactly.
he it's
Great
all
example.
just there, you just always just want to be better than the next. So that's my thought on that.
I love it. I love it. Thanks for that. Well, that does conclude the 10 question secret segment. So for anybody who is in on the secret, thanks for watching. And make sure you definitely tune into episode 14 of Sports Talk Mostly podcast, where you can catch the full interview with Buster.